Good morning, dear students. Last class, we solved some problems relating ideal gas equation and also discussed the postulates of kinetic theory of gases. And today here we are going to study about the relationship between the average kinetic energy of gas and temperature. Then some other factors. Okay, other portions. So first, what is the relationship between average kinetic energy of gas and temperature? So the average kinetic energy of a gas molecule is given by the relation, that is kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, where m is the mass of gas particle, and v is the velocity. Instead of v, here the velocity is represented by RMS velocity, that is root mean square velocity, or u. Okay, so according to the average kinetic energy of a gas molecule is given average kinetic energy of a gas molecule is, that is half mu square. Okay, then the total kinetic energy of all gas molecules. So if there contains n number of molecules, half mu square, m is mass of one molecule, u is the velocity of the molecule. Then the total kinetic energy of all gas molecules, if there are n number of molecules, Avogadro's number of molecules, then kinetic energy of the molecule Ek equal to, that is half m and u square. Okay, from kinetic gas equation, we know, so what we know, PV equal to 1 by 3 mn u square. So Ek equal to half mn u square and PV equal to, give it equation 1. Now multiply this RHS side of this equation by 2 and divide by 2. Okay, then what we get? Or PV equal to 2 by 3 into half m and u square. And this value half m and u square, that is equal to total kinetic energy Ek half m and u square in this way, or PV equal to 2 by 3 and total kinetic energy Ek. And again we know from ideal gas equation. What is the ideal gas equation? PV equal to RT, that is for 1 mole of gas, and PV equal to N matrix. So here PV equal to 2 by 3 Ek, giving equation 2, and PV equal to RT. Suppose this is equation number 3. So from equation 2 and equation 3, PV equal to 2 by 3 Ek and PV is equal to RT. So PV is 2 by 3. So equating equation 2 and 3, what we get? So we get, that is 2 by 3 Ek is equal to RT, or Ek is equal to 3 by 2 RT. So Ek is equal to 3 by 2 RT. That is for 1 mole of gas when N is Avogadro's number. And if N number of moles are taken, then PV is equal to nRT. So as PV is equal to nRT and PV equal to 2 by 3 Ek. So equating these two, what we get? We get that 2 by 3 Ek is equal to nRT or Ek equal to 3 by 2 nRT. So first give it equation number 4, that is for 1 mole of gas, and again Ek is equal to 3 by 2 nRT. PV is equal to nRT, that is for n mole of gas. This is the total kinetic energy of gas molecules. And when we consider about the average kinetic energy, okay. So now average kinetic energy of gas is equal to total kinetic energy by n. So from dividing equation 4, the both sides by n, what we get? Or Ek by n is equal to 3 by 2 RT by n, where n is Avogadro's number and R is universal gas constant. R universal gas constant, n is Avogadro's number. So substitute value 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse divided by 3 by 2 is there, and 6.023 10 to the power 23. So in this way, this is equal number of moles per mole, 6.023 10 to the power 23 into temperature. So this value is a constant, this value is constant, this R by N give rise to a new constant, that is 3 by 2 K into T R by M D, and this K value is equal to 3 by 2. So 8.314 divided by 6 point, you can get 1.38. Okay, no need to write here. 3 by 2 KT, where K value 8.314 by 6.023 K is another constant called Boltzmann's constant. Boltzmann's constant, and its value is 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23. 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule Kelvin inverse. So E by Ek by n, this is the average kinetic energy, is equal to 3 by 2 kT. 3 by 2 kT. Suppose this average kinetic energy represented by letter epsilon. So epsilon is equal to 3 by 2 kT. K is Boltzmann constant, or epsilon is proportional. Epsilon is proportional to absolute temperature. So this is the relationship between average kinetic energy and absolute temperature. This is the relationship between average kinetic energy and absolute temperature. So note down this. Next come to another portion, that is deviation of gases from ideal gas behavior. So up to now, what we have studied the different gas laws, Boyle's law, Charles' law, or Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law. So all these gas laws, and also we have know what is the ideal gas equation, all the gas laws. So actually whenever we consider about the real gases, they do not obey all the gas laws strictly under all conditions of temperature and pressure. So the gases which obeys all the gas laws, the gases which obey all the gas laws strictly under all conditions of temperature and pressure are known as ideal gases. But actually, this concept is hypothetical. There is no existence of ideal gases. But the real gases which actually exist, they do not obey all the gas laws strictly under all conditions of temperature and pressure. We consider about hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen, methane, carbon dioxide, every gases that do not which actually exist, that do not obey all the gas laws strictly under all conditions of temperature and pressure. So the gases which obeys all the gas laws strictly under all conditions of temperature and pressure are known as ideal gases, and which do not obey strictly all conditions of temperature and pressure that the gas actually exists, that are known as real gases. And these real gases have different characteristics than that of the postulates given in kinetic theory. So what are the postulates given in kinetic theory? The real gases show different behavior, different characteristics than that of the postulates of kinetic theory. So these deviations were studied by different scientists. So in this, this deviation can be studied graphically. So graphically, if any gas is ideal, then it should obey graphically. Factor look here 1 3. So if any gas is ideal, then the ideal behavior can be studied by compressibility factor. Compressibility factor, that is Z. So PV by nRT, the ratio of PV by nRT. So if it is an ideal gas means PV is equal to nRT. So if PV is equal to nRT, then PV by nRT, that should be equal to 1. So if we study the compressibility factor versus pressure graph, then when we study the compressibility factor here, Z value, and here suppose you have taken the pressure. Okay, so this is the 100 atmosphere, 200, 300 in different atmosphere. 0 is 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, like this. Its value is 1. It is Z. In this side Z is equal to PV by nRT, and in x-axis pressure is taken. It is 100 atm or 200, 300. In this way, this pressure axis is there and Z is there. This is 0.5 and 0, and here 1.5, 2, the compressibility value is given. So if if any gas obeys ideal gas equation, then Z should be equal to 1. And PV by nRT value, that should be equal to 1. And when we draw a graph Z versus pressure, then it should be always a straight line. Then it should be always a straight line which is nearly equal to 1 and parallel to pressure axis. But actually it is found that when we draw for different gases, it found that the gases show different behavior. So if we study the behavior, the gases found to have. So this is for hydrogen, this is for helium. Similarly, some gases are found to be like this: nitrogen, methane, and this is one for carbon dioxide, nitrogen, methane, carbon dioxide, in this form. So when we study the nature of the curve, the nature of the curve found to be different from that of the ideal behavior. So this is actually what is the behavior of real gases which actually exist. So if we draw a graph from Z versus P, it should be a straight line and its value should be 1 and always parallel to the pressure axis. But actually when we consider about the different gases like hydrogen, helium and nitrogen, methane, carbon dioxide, it is found that the nature of the curve is different from that of the ideal behavior. So this is the real behavior, and from this graph, it is studied that gases show ideal behavior at low pressure. So that when the pressure is very low, then its value is nearly equal to 1. So when the pressure is very low, its value is nearly equal to 1, and as the pressure increases, gases show maximum deviation. Some gases like hydrogen, helium, they have higher value than that of 1. So Z value, so when Z value is greater than 1, it shows gases show positive deviation. Gases show positive deviation, and when Z is less than equal to 1, it shows gases show negative deviation. So as the pressure increases, the gases either show positive deviation or either negative deviation. So hydrogen and helium, they exhibit the positive deviation, and all other gases, they show generally negative deviation. But when the pressure is low, they show the ideal behavior. That means gases show ideal behavior at low pressure. As the pressure increases, gases exhibit maximum deviation. Similarly, what is the effect of temperature? So for to know the effect of temperature, another gas is taken, nitrogen gas, and its compressibility factor is the graph of compressibility factor versus pressure is done at different temperature. So when the graph is drawn at different temperature, look here. So here pressure is taken and here Z is taken. At different temperature, these graphs are drawn. So Z value here. So at different condition, at different temperature, these values, the compressibility factor versus pressure graph were drawn for nitrogen gas, and it is found that this dip of the curve, so this is the dip, what is the dip of the curve? This dip of the curve decreases as the temperature increases. So as the temperature increases, the dip of the curve decreases. So this is T4, T3, T2, T1. So T4 greater than T3, greater than T2, greater than T1. So Z versus P for nitrogen gas drawn, it is found that as the temperature increases, the gases, the dip of the curve decreases. So at time a temperature appears at which gases show ideal behavior over a range of pressure. Whatever pressure you may apply, low or high, the gases show ideal behavior. So that temperature is called Boyle temperature. Look here, as the temperature increases, the dip of the curve decreases. That means if the temperature is less, then it shows maximum deviation. If the temperature is more or high, it shows minimum deviation. That means gases show minimum deviation at high temperature, or gases behave ideally at high temperature. Okay, so from these two curves, when the graph is drawn between PV by nRT or Z versus P for different gases and for nitrogen at different temperature, it is found that gases show maximum deviation at high pressure and low temperature, and gases behave ideally at low pressure and high temperature. So these are the behavior of real gases. So first draw this graph, then write down some points. So after drawing the graphs, note down these following points. Deviation of gases from ideal behavior. So deviation from ideal behavior can be studied by plotting pressure versus compressibility factor Z. So for different gases, where Z is equal to PV by NIT. So it is found that gases show maximum deviation at high pressure. The pressure increases, either they exhibit positive deviation or they exhibit negative deviation. And when Z is equal to 1, it is the ideal behavior. When Z is greater than 1, gas shows positive deviation. Generally, the gases like hydrogen and helium exhibit positive deviation, and gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, etc., they exhibit negative deviation. So negative deviation means these gases are more easily compressible than expected, and positive deviation means these gases are less compressible than expected. And gases behave ideally at low pressure. As the pressure increases, gases show maximum deviation. Similarly, when the graph is plotted, the Z versus P at different temperature, it is found that with increase in temperature, generally the curve, the dip of the curve decreases. So the dip of the curve decreases. It is found that from that gases show ideal behavior at high temperature. So at high temperature, gases show ideal behavior or less deviation. So from this, what we conclude? From this we conclude that gases exhibit maximum deviation at high pressure and low temperature, and gases behave ideally at low pressure and high temperature. And the temperature at which gases behave ideally over a wide range of pressure, that is known as Boyle's temperature. Okay, so note down these points. So what is the cause of deviation? So to study the cause of deviation, if we study carefully about the postulates of kinetic theory, it is found that two postulates among them found to be faulty. So due to these two faulty assumptions, gases actually looks like ideal behavior, but they have different behavior. The real gases deviate from ideal behavior. So why the real gases deviate from ideal behavior? That is due to the two faulty assumptions of kinetic theory. So look here. So one is that the volume of a gas molecule is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. Look here. Suppose there is a large space, large container is there, volume of the gas is all there, and here all the gas molecules are present at large distance. In this way, what is the volume of a gas molecule that can be neglected as compared to the total volume, or the intermolecular space between them is large. At the intermolecular space between them is large, at that time we can neglect what is the volume of a gas molecule. But when if the volume is very less, look here, if the volume is less, this is compressed, the pressure is high, it is compressed, and the volume of gas molecule, the volume is there. So at that time, we cannot neglect the volume of the gas molecule, because the intermolecular space between them is less. So when the molecule come closer to each other, the intermolecular space is less. So at that time, we cannot neglect what is the volume of the gas molecule. So if the pressure is high, when the pressure is high, the volume is less. at that less volume, we cannot neglect the volume of a gas molecule. But when the pressure is low, then the volume is large. When the pressure is low, less pressure, that means volume is large. At that time, we can neglect the volume of a gas molecule. So in this way, so this is one point. And another, there is no force of interaction between the gas molecule. Neither the force of attraction nor the force of repulsion. There is no force of attraction within the gas molecules. Look here, if the volume is large and the molecules are far apart from each other, so in this there is no force of interaction between the molecules. So all the molecules move freely. There is no force of interaction between them. So no force of attraction or repulsion at the distance is more. But if the distance is very less, when the volume is less, so when the volume is less, so the molecule come closer to each other. As the molecule come closer to each other, so there may be more repulsion or there may be more force of attraction. So more force of attraction. So in this way, if the molecule come closer to each other, the molecular force of interaction increases. But when the volume is large, at that time the molecular force of interaction, is negligible. So the molecular force of interaction is negligible. That is another postulate. So these postulates are found to be faulty. At which condition? When the pressure is high and temperature is low. But when pressure is low and temperature is high, at that time this is found to be correct. No fault is there. But when the pressure is high and temperature is low, P high and T low, then they found to be faulty. Then the assumptions found to be faulty. In this way, the real gases deviate from ideal behavior. So note down these points then. So the cause of deviation: all gases do not obey all the gas laws strictly under all conditions of temperature and pressure. Only they behave ideally at low pressure and high temperature. So what is the cause? This cause, when we study carefully, we found that two faulty assumptions are wrong, or two faulty assumptions are found in kinetic theory. So one is that the volume occupied by a gas molecule is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas, and there is no force of interaction or attraction or repulsion between the gas molecules, or the force of attraction and repulsion between the gas molecules are negligible. So that can only negligible at the condition when the temperature is high and the pressure is low. But the opposite condition we cannot be neglect. This volume cannot be neglected, or the force of interaction cannot be neglected. Okay, so note down these points. So due to these two faulty assumptions, real gases deviate from ideal behavior. So for the real gases, another scientist, this van der Waals, modified the ideal gas equation. He made some pressure correction, that is the intermolecular force of attraction. For this intermolecular force of attraction, made some correction in pressure term, and for molecular volume, he made some correction in volume term. So for volume term some correction, and for pressure term some correction. So modified the ideal gas equation, and the equation is known as van der Waals equation of state. So we know that the ideal gas equation is PV equal to nRT. So due to intermolecular force of attraction, the pressure has some different. In this state, we made some correction in this pressure term, and as the volume is negligible as compared to the total volume, in this it requires some volume correction, and we corrected the volume term, corrected the pressure term, and corrected the volume term, and the new equation is modified, new equation is derived, that is known as van der Waals equation of state, which can be represented as P plus n square A by V square into V minus NB is equal to nRT. That is equation 1, that is for n moles of gas, and P plus, when n is equal to 1, P plus A by V square, B minus B is equal to RT. It's for 1 mole of gas, where A and B are constants, A and B are constants called van der Waals constant. A is the correction for pressure term and B is the correction for volume term. This B is known as excluded volume or co-volume. If the A has higher the value of A, more is the intermolecular force of attraction and the gas can be more easily liquefied. So note down these points. So what is the significance and unit of van der Waals constant A and B? So you know there are two constants, that is A and B. So first, significance of A. So A, that represents the intermolecular force of attraction. Higher the value of A, more is the intermolecular force of attraction and more easily the gas can be liquefied. Okay, so higher the value of A, more is the intermolecular force of attraction, and more easily the gas can be liquefied. For example, some example on the ease of liquefaction. Liquefaction of some gases are in the order that is, suppose given different gas, carbon dioxide more easily than methane, then nitrogen, then oxygen, then hydrogen. If some gas is given, then from this list confirm that carbon dioxide has higher the value of A than that of methane, then nitrogen, then oxygen and hydrogen. In this way the gases are, in this way they can be liquefied. Then you need to know P plus A n square by V square. That means it should be a pressure term. So A n square, pressure is already added with pressure, and we say P plus A n square by V square. This total term is one pressure term. So in this way, A n square by V square is equal to, suppose there is small b. Okay, so small b, or A is equal to pressure, that is the small p, into volume by n square. So pressure has unit atmosphere, volume has unit, suppose liter, so liter square, atmosphere, liter square, and n moles, that is mole minus 2. So A as unit of A, atmosphere, liter square, mole minus 2. So if the volume is given in meter cube, then meter cube square, or atmosphere meter 6 mole minus 2. Okay, so note down this. And if this is given bar, you can write it also bar. So what are the different term? We take the pressure and volume in this way. A has also different units. So note down this. So the B is known as excluded volume or co-volume, which represents the effective volume of the gas. Effective volume of the gas molecule. And as V is given, V minus NB is there. So NB is there, that means NB is a volume term. So we can write like this. So NB, that is V minus small v you can write, or you can write NB is the small v, okay, or V equal to small v by N. That is volume by mole. So in this way, unit of V, the volume is given in liter mole inverse, or meter cube mole inverse. So these are the physical significance of A and V. These are the significance of constant A and V and their units. Okay, so today up to this. Next we will discuss some other portions of this chapter.